You know, ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in early June, the jostling for the top jobs would be frenzied and hysteric. For former governor of Akwa State, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and Kano North Senator Barau Jibril, it is now or never at all. The former minister of the Niger Delta led 40 other senators-elect on a visit to the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja. The seasoned politician told his august visitors that the micro-zoning of the positions by the APC was not cast in iron or stone, and that relevant stakeholders would have to be consulted. As a matter of fact, the lawmakers at the Red Chamber would have the final say. There's a story here by our correspondent, Habida Lawal. Let's share it with you. Please watch on.
There has been so much frenzied interest in the composition of the leadership of the National Assembly. Wide consultations are being carried out by different individuals and interest groups laying claim a stake to the Senate presidency. While some senators protest to the party's National Working Committee, every region feels that they deserve a seat at the high table of political prominence. Over 40 senators led by the party's candidate Godswill Akpabio visited the APC National Working Committee to thank them for the prompt release of the zoning list and also assure that they will continue to close ranks, especially to those who are yet to agree with the party's decision.
We are going to do more, together with the chairman, Governor Mai, the co-chairman, Governor Bello of Niger State, and the DG of the campaign, my brother Dume, the deputy DG, my brother Senator Akwa, and all our colleagues to make sure that everybody is on board. We want a rank-free Senate, we want a rank-free inauguration of the 10th Senate come that day.
We are 70, and I'm sure, inshallah, we'll get to 70, except those people seek something. Senators are men of integrity. And besides that, we are focused. They are poised to provide stability that is needed for the smooth takeoff of this administration.
The party on its part is heeding to calls for more consultations and in due time will come up with a position.
It is also a notorious fact that there has been responses to what we did. And being Democrats, we are doing what the call of leadership is compelling us to do.
Arms are crossed to see which way the NWC will eventually swing and if there will be a review of its earlier zoning list. Although the APC National Working Committee is yet to make any statement on its review of the zoning list so far, the purpose of this meeting is aimed at finding answer to settle the dissenting voices among the senators in the...
Today, anything, underline that anything is possible in politics.
Well,
the thing is, just go try it.
Well, like Jide said yesterday, you see, politics and negotiations and discussion is a continuum. You continue making friends, you continue building bridges and making alliances. Thank God that this thing is happening. It's a development for our democracy. In 2015, nothing like this happened. And that was why somebody who belonged to the unpopular faction of the party took control of the National Assembly, and they almost granted the government and gave the party a lot of problems. Let them go through all these things. Anybody who emerge through concessions and consolidation and negotiations by this thing, anybody who emerge is likely to treasure that particular seat as the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And besides that, this is a test case for the APC. And that is why not just anybody can be the national chairman of a political party like the APC that is in power. You need the resilience, you need the wisdom to be able to bring all parties together. Yesterday, members of the National Assembly from the North Central, they are also asking that they should be considered to either produce the Speaker or to produce the Senate President. It's also about concessions. But like I said, this is a lesson for all politicians to know that you cannot just wake up one day and take it. So you have to make friends, you have to build bridges. And your ability to do all these things is dependent on your experience garnered over the years. Akpabio is not a new, he has been governor for 8 years. This is second time in the Senate.
As minister, 4 years.
Minister for 4 years. So he knows that if at the end of the day he's able to make it, then it means he has worked for it. We need people in high offices in Nigeria who will work for that particular position, not they will just detach.
In the interest of the country.
In the interest of the country.
Yeah.
So because you cannot value anything that you don't work for.
Yeah.
So I think the APC should put the machinery in motion. They should keep on widening the consultation gap so that anybody who emerges at the end of the day, they won't have an excuse to say that somebody came in through the back door like it happened in 2015.
That's it.
The Senate president. It should be by concessions. And like Adamu said, every other thing, no matter the amount of consolidation or meeting they have, is going to be settled on June 12th on the floor of the National
That's it. Gide, it's important. The man who becomes number 3 and number 4 in this country, the men who become numbers 3 and 4, must be determined through, a process that's pleasant to all. It's only logical.
Yes, the party would have a say.
Yeah.
But it's the lawmakers that will have their way. You can appeal to them, say, look, this is why we think this person is best for this position. We don't want an adversarial National Assembly. But the way to avoid an adversarial National Assembly is to ensure that what happened in 2015 does not happen again. When Bukola Saraki, against the wish of the party, emerged.
Became the number 3 man.
And made the PDP senator the deputy
president.
Senate president. He was crunching the numbers, and he clearly hunted for supporters from within the PDP and negotiated with them that, look, if you give me your vote in block, I'm going to give this position to a PDP member. At the end of the day, APC lost out. He defeated the candidate of the party and he emerged. This time around, the party, as well as all stakeholders, must be constantly in talks. You look at what's happening in this House of Reps, for example. They are saying, look, it is the turn of the North Central to produce the speaker. I know people have come up with the argument that, North Central produce any president. We are talking about Speaker of the House of Reps.
The number 4 man.
Yes, Speaker of the House of Reps, the Northwest has produced it 4 times between 1999 and now. House of Reps, the North Central has not produced the speaker since the dawn of this democracy.
23, 24 years.
Yes, and they are saying, look, this is our time. Added to that, we supported the party tremendously during the election. We delivered 4 states. That was Ashwaju's best performance in northern Nigeria. In fact, in Nigeria, because in the southwest, he didn't win more than 4 states, the same 4 states that the North Central delivered. So the loyalty of that part of the country is not in doubt. And that's why they are saying, okay, and after the election, when we had the governorship election, it became 5 states for the APC. It was only Benue that took, Plateau, that took a state. They took over Benue from Otom. So they said, this is our time. Now,
justifiably so.
Yes, I think so. This has nothing to do with where I come from. I think that equity demands that you reward loyalty.
Loyalty, yeah.
You reward loyalty. That's what they are saying. Otherwise, in future, some other party will use it to campaign against them. Okay, for all your years of support to this, what did you get?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What did you get? You know, so I'm happy for one thing. He said consultations, that's the national chairman, said consultations will continue.
Yeah.
He admitted that in coming up with that list, they didn't consult enough. And they took responsibility. Even the people contesting, you didn't talk to them. They are the people that you must first talk to. You need to get their buy-in that, gentlemen, this is what we want to do. We need you to back us. By doing this for the right reasons, we need you to back us. You didn't do that. What if they go and contest against
They choose to divide their
the
vote.
candidates of the party?
So the APC has only 177 in the House of Rep. The remaining 190, 183, it can go either way.
So this is, and the House of Reps has a history of doing that. So they have to manage. I think Akpabio has worked so hard that he's getting more and more support by the day. And in the end, even if when it is thrown open, it might still emerge, even if, because some are calling for it to be thrown open. He's worked so hard, he's built a strong support base that, and these people are, in the Senate, they are very powerful. Barau and Ondume, they are very powerful. They are power brokers, and he has them on his side. That's an asset. To have those guys, they constitute an asset. So they need to work with them so that they don't go and work against the party on the day of the election.
Yeah, otherwise, today, you know, the danger here is for the ruling party to shoot itself in the foot. You know, we talked about 2015.
2015.
Learning new lessons, forgetting old ones.
Because the democracy and politics is very dynamic. It's not something that's stationary. Events of 15 years ago, 8 years ago, a lot of things will have happened that will now determine that you have to be realistic. It's about power. And power is game. And the way you can play it depends on what you have.
The country wants a vibrant National Assembly, not
Party National Assembly.
You know, party National Assembly, bring any bill, I'll sign it, and so on. But at the same time, care must be taken so it does not run against reasonable logic.
And besides that, you know, the party has a program and the party has a focus. And I believe that the president-elect, he has a program, he has a blueprint that he wants to implement. It would be wrong of him to fold his hand and allow people that will frustrate most of the bills in the National Assembly, because the legislators are a very important and component part of his success, whether we like it or not. We know what happened between 2015 and 2019. So when, like he said, the NDP, MPDP were both the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President. So it was very little. So the President-elect, the NWC, the chairman of the party, they have a lot to do to make sure that they consult well and broaden their negotiation and allay the fears of those people who think they have been sidelined by not being consulted before a decision was taken.
Ginny, sometimes you are looking at 6 geopolitical zones and you are looking at side by side with the 6 first offices in the land: the president, the vice, the Senate president, speaker, deputy Senate president, deputy speaker. 6 zones. Is it a wrong mathematics?
No, it's not.
Is it warped?
You know why this one is, you know why it's a bit problematic? The party focused on presiding officers. They didn't zone the entire principal officers' positions. They just focus on the presiding officers. There are 4 presiding officers: Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, House of Reps, Deputy Speaker. 4 presiding officer positions. Now, Northwest produced 2 out of the 4. There's no way that people will not
belly ache.
This is the source of this disagreement. That why should 2 presiding officer positions out of 4
come from a particular zone?
It's unheard of. It has never happened. So that is the source of this agitation. That no, while you have not rewarded some
folks,
you've chosen to now give 2, because at the end of the day, if you've given House of Rep Speaker to Kaduna in the Northwest, and you give him Barau
Deputy Senate President,
also from the Northwest. In fact, the argument somebody came up with in Abuja that made me laugh, he said, Kaduna and Kano,
they are cousins.
They are cousins. They not created
out of this.
I said, I don't know.
Former Northern region.
They are too close to one another. And it's true, just about 2 hours, 20 minutes or so between them, and some of their communities share boundary. So they are neighbors. And the interesting thing is, the Senate President is not always around. We can actually have a situation in which the same week, both chambers will be presided over by
Northwest.
2 guys from the Northwest. Well, you know what that means? The balance that we are looking for will not be there. You want one of those houses to be headed by someone from the South.
That's it.
It's not possible for that person to be around all the time. What if it happens to be a very critical period? From one zone, those 2 houses,
principal officers,
yes, 2 principal officers from the same zone could be presiding over both houses the same day, the same time.
And might have a telling effect.
Of course, it depends on even the issue
at hand.
Yes. So people are already thinking that no, this should not happen. This is not right.
Tunde, a member of the Federal House in a discussion told me it's an arrangement we have agreed upon since 1999 that if the number 1 man comes from the south, he didn't say southwest or south-south, comes from the south, the Senate President must come from beside. He said only in David Mark's time did you have a staggering of the arrangement.
Yeah.
But that now, if the President is from the south, the number 3 man must be south. If the Vice is from the north, the number 4 man must be from the north. Is that not a fair exchange?
Well, I think, Nigeria's politics is dynamic. Dynamism is trying to ensure balancing. When you look at it, if something happened, like he said, the number 1 person is a Muslim, because whether we like it or not,
so religion will come into play.
Religion will come into play. So if something happens, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is a Muslim from the Northwest. Aha. So what happens?
The Senate President
the Senate President to position. So whether we like it or not, the Senate President position has to go to a Christian that is probably from the South to balance that issue. So it's about balancing.
All right.
Keep on balancing until we get there.
Today I hear we must go.